months for me to stop blaming myself for the abuse and the sexual assault. With support from those in my life that truly love me, I was able to finally stop protecting my abuser and speak up about what happened to me and so many other young people. It's a shame even young children were involved as well, and not everyone made it out safely and alive. I never willingly joined a destructive sex cult, but in the end, I learned that that is exactly what it was. I, like so many others, wanted to make a positive impact in the world, not to be hurt, abused, and used, exploited by Eligio Bishop. So many people have prayed for this day where justice is finally being served. And I thank everyone who heard us and who saw us and who fought for our freedom.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't have any other questions.
Mr. Becker, do you have any questions?
I have no questions.
Okay. Thank you so much. All right. Ms. Marquez, are you driving? Or are you a passenger? You have to unmute. Oh, sorry. Try it again. There you go. All right. Are you a passenger in a car?
No, I'm just sitting in the car. It's the quietest for me.
Okay, no worries. As long as you're not driving.
Velvet, if you could raise your right hand.
And, okay.
Do you swear or affirm the evidence you'll give to the court today will be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You can put your hand down if you'll please introduce yourself again.
I'm Velvet Marquez.
Velvet, did you want to address the judge as she considers an appropriate sentence for Mr. Bishop?
Sure, yes.
Okay, please go ahead and tell her what you'd like to tell her.
First of all, I just want to thank you for your time, for your patience, because it was drawn out for a very long time. I'm counting years. And everything that Kendra just said, she put it in a nutshell. And moving forward from it all and trying to heal from it all and knowing that I was targeted from a spiritual standpoint, I've literally had to get myself clean so that I can understand what the Bible is, who God is, who Jesus is to me. I really had to unravel myself from thinking that an actual person was here as the second coming of Christ. And I know that may sound absurd to a lot of people because a lot of people have spiritual backgrounds, but I was searching for who God meant to me in my life at the time of Jordan. So now that everything is settling and I have 3 children of my own, it's an uphill battle every day because I've literally witnessed Eligio Bishop threatening to kill me and my child on multiple occasions. He said that my life is over if he had ever saw me again. So every day I wake up, especially with online social media calls from other people that follow him, they live in death threats as well. And one of the most recent ones I got was they couldn't that the person said that they would be sitting outside my home address just to take a picture of me and my now newborn, just to put it on social media. So everywhere I go, people know me because of this. They know the humiliation. Everybody saw the revenge porn they put out of me and myself. This has been public, and it literally, I wouldn't even say destroy our lives, but at times it has literally felt like he was trying to destroy our lives, even through our own families. And what breaks my heart the most and that I have to be strong for and continue to be strong for is the children. Because the children were severely impacted by all of this. They will never know their fathers. Not only that, the men that are the fathers of our child, we now have to look at them and see them as another nation or Eligio Bishop because they all carry some of the same behaviors. Courtney Townsend is the father of my now child, and he has some of the same characteristics as Eligio Bishop, and I have to now protect my family, my child, his child from himself. And these men around us, we don't know if we can trust them. I don't know if I could trust them. I can't trust the fathers of my children. And knowing that my child is gonna have to grow up with me and I'm gonna have to explain to my child how, when, where, why, that is a lot as a responsibility. And I'm glad that the verdict has come back to what it is for what it's worth, because our lives will never be the same. My life will never be the same. My daughter's life will never be the same. My son's life will never be the same. I have to go file protection order and do all of these things to make sure that I'm protected as a woman and child. That's not okay. You're targeting women and children at this point. And so the young men who follow Nature Boy, who follow Eligio Bishop, this is what happens to you when you harm people that's innocent. And I want to thank Kendra, and I want to tell you that I've always thought you was a beautiful young woman, and so I have you, Brianna, and so have I and everybody else. It was the environment that kept me away because I said no. And I was being physically abused for it every single day. And the only reasons why I came back, to combination so many times was because I was under the impression that we were gonna make it work for Eliana, our daughter, because that's what it was about. And it was about Sonar's child that he had with Janae, and with Zoka. And it was about your child that you had with Aaron. It was about everybody's child, everybody's children should have been protected, and everybody should have been protected. And I'm just grateful for everybody who continue to support us and fought on our behalf to bring all of this to the light, which I'm really not surprised because Nature Boy and Eligio Bishop had already put everything out for everybody to see. And so I thank everybody again. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
Brianna?
All right, if you would unmute, and are you driving, Brianna?
I am driving right now.
Would you be able to find somewhere to pull over?
Yes, 1 second.
Okay, let's move on. to
Sorry.
one of the other, that's okay. We'll move on to one of the other folks.
And then my baby's crying.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mute you until you're, until you find somewhere to park, okay? And we'll call,
Okay.
we'll call on somebody else. All right,
I can have 30 seconds, Your Honor,
Yeah.
to see
okay.
if I have any other
Sure.
witnesses. Thank you. Call Janae Newell.
Okay. Do you want to, you can stand at the podium if you prefer. Would you rather? Okay. All right, just raise your right hand.
Raise your right hand. Right.
Right hand.
Okay, that's okay.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you present to the court to be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
State your name for the court, please.
Janae Noel.
Janae, have you prepared a statement you want to read to the judge before she considers sentence?
Yes.
You can go ahead.
First, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to the judge and to the court for giving me and many other victims a chance to be heard after finding our own voice. Thank you to God, the real living God that lives within us all. You've made this possible, and your presence is noticed in all this. And even to Mr. Booker for doing your best, for trying at least to give him a fair trial. But we all know Mr. Bishop is not fair. Mr. Bishop Babaji has been a monster to us all, and we try to see the best in him. He has tortured all of our souls and said he would send us to the abyss if we ever defied him. He made us believe that he was Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. And for that, that alone is punishable. I hope this opens his eyes. And I pray that the people who are there with him are set free themselves, so they can stop living in the illusion that this man has placed on our minds. When I first came across carbonation, I thought I had a family. And I thought I could live free and fulfill our mission with the people that was appointed to be the gods and goddesses on earth. But it was torture for me. I cried at night and trembled at day. Eligio, you made us to be liars when we lived in truth, wanted to live in truth. The harassment was just dreadful for me, especially around my pregnancy. You demolished Eligio. You demolished our connection with God, just so you can be God. And you haunted our dreams like the monster you are. You damaged us all. You confused us all. You made love something we should be fearing. And abuse was looked as normal for us, and it was not supposed to be. The very people you promised to help, you tarnished and you destroyed us. You truly didn't care about us, Eligio. To me and many others, he was a guide, judge in court. He was a teacher. He was a lover. He was a friend. And for us, the members of Carbonation, he was a prophet. And he was supposed to be good for change, but he turned into a whole nasty demon who had sex with us whenever he pleased, even if we didn't want to. Made us ignore the children around just so he can get more attention. That wasn't fair to the mothers. Eligio, you have atoning to do. You were our guide, but now you're a prisoner, like you prisoned us. Now you're a prisoner, like you imprisoned us. And I even now pray that God has mercy on your soul. God will have mercy, I hope, for you. And this time there's no escaping, no running, no hiding. Face yourself. And sit there until you understand why you're there before you go off teaching anything to anyone. No Leroy, no Dr. Bishop, not even Three God or Nature Boy will be there to save you. It's only you and God, the real God. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, any other witnesses who want to be heard from the state?
Yes, it looks like Ms. Jacobs has situated herself in a place
Ah,
that is
yes,
not
okay,
in a
yes,
vehicle.
all right. All right, you can unmute. There you go. No, you're still muted, try it again.
Okay.
I think I messed it up, all right. One more time. Did it let you do it? There you go. Okay, thank you.
Okay, sorry, I just have to get my baby situated.
No, you're fine, All right, go ahead and swear in, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Brianna, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the evidence you'll give to the court today will be the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, you can put your hand down and introduce yourself again for the record, please.
Brianna Jacobs.
And what do you want to tell Judge Hedrick if she considers an appropriate sentence for Mr. Bishop?
I feel like the ones before you said most of, like, they really did a good job explaining themselves and what we went through while being in this situation. For us, on my behalf, I just want to say thank you to the judge, and I'm glad that we're finally getting justice after, for myself, 70 years of being involved with this person that we did view as our messiah at the time. It's years that we'll never get back. And, sorry. I just pray that throughout this whole situation, that the ones that are still involved in the situation will regain their minds back. That's who I pray for the most right now. Because I understand where they are, and I hope this is the opportunity for them to break free from the spell that they're under. And even for myself, it took a while to realize why I even involved myself in a situation like this, and what in me attracted these scenarios, and why I even viewed him as a god at one point in my life. But one thing that I did get from the situation is I found the true God. And I feel like that's the best thing that I got from the situation. But yeah, I feel like I really don't have much to say.
Okay.
I'm just glad that justice is being served for all of us, and yeah.
Thank you. Any questions?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
I'm told that Mr. Dixon wanted to say something. He's not a victim or a 413 victim. He's a victim in the traditional sense of that word, though he was not a named victim. I don't know. I was told it was brief. Is the court willing to listen to him?
I'm not gonna object.
Okay, that's fine.
Aaron, can you turn your camera on?
I'm actually trying to figure out how to turn my video on. Okay, thank you.
I had to click a button that said to ask you to start your video, so, okay.
Guys, yeah, I'm gonna be.
Hold on one
I'm gonna
second, let him swear
Oh,
you,
yeah.
let him swear you.
Got it.
Yeah, Mr. Dixon, if you raise your right hand, do you swear or affirm the evidence you'll give to the court today will be the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right, you can put your hand down and introduce yourself, please.
Yes, sir, my name is Aaron Dixon. I'm just gonna be brief. I don't think that anybody in the world has led a perfect life, a life that doesn't have mistakes, a life that doesn't have shortcomings. But the difference, the distinct difference about Mr. Bishop is that even in this moment, as he sits in a very serious position, he's in disbelief as if he's done nothing wrong. And the danger behind that is that in order to change your behavior, you have to first acknowledge that a change needs to be made. Mr. Bishop has an inability to see his own shortcomings, which means he will never change, which means he should never be in the vicinity of a normal functioning human being. I personally believe that all mistakes are forgivable if a person has the courage to admit that they even made a mistake. And I will say, Judge, I've met some unique people in my life, but this is the very first time that I believe that I've ever met a psychopath in real time. And that's all I got to say.
Thank you.
All right, that's all the state has by way of evidence. We do have argument at the appropriate time, but we would reserve that.
All right, and.
Am I allowed to speak at all?
Yeah, hold on one second. Did you have any witnesses that wanted to speak, Mr. Booker?
Judge, my witnesses have been banned from the courthouse, so no, I do not.
Ah, okay, they're the ones who acted out, okay.
I don't know that they acted out, but they're not in the courthouse.
Well, I would instruct the deputies for all of those witnesses who acted out on the stand and the folks that acted out in the gallery were, once they did that, they were no longer welcome in the courtroom.
Yeah, there are some people who were banned who didn't act out, Judge.
Okay, well, I'll be happy to hear from them if,
Well,
I'll let-
they're not here, so we'll just proceed.
all right, Mr. Ray wants to say something. Is he a witness?
That's Mr. Townsend, he's sorry. his
Oh,
name is-
sorry, it says solely on there.
Yes, Your Honor, I did not realize, I'm sorry.
That's okay. All right, you can go ahead and unmute, please. Raise your right hand and we'll swear you in.
Sir, do you swear or affirm the evidence you give to the court today will be the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down and introduce yourself, please.
My name is Courtney Townsend, and yes, I have been on a journey with everyone who spoke, and I have been very close to Mr. Bishop during this entire journey. And thank everybody for sharing what you shared. And thank you, Aaron, for saying what you said as well, bringing that clarity and even offering some medicine to the table for him. Now, hold on, while he's in there. And for me, I had to realize that everybody is on a spiritual journey. Not everybody really acknowledges it. However, we're all there. I didn't realize that my purpose and being myself was all that I needed. I felt like I was missing pieces. I was missing my father. And I was so gung-ho on changing the world, I was willing to change myself to the detriment of me. I found all of my gifts and all of my affinities to be the very things that were shut down and arrested while I was at Carper Nation. All of my skills and gifts and abilities that could have me in a whole other position in my life were the very things being suppressed while I offered my daily vital energy to Eligio Bishop because I believed that he believed in empowering people truly. And instead of taking us to sovereignty, he ended up playing as what I would consider to be an antichrist. Anything that takes you away from your connection to the divine for yourself. However religion you found it, whatever mantras, practices, or meditations you use, that's your own. And I hope that everybody can align to their purposes. Everybody can get on track with their lives. A lot of people don't realize what we have to do to recover from giving away everything, cutting off all of our family members, and even ourselves, losing ourselves psychologically for so many years, what it takes to recover from that. So I commend the strength of everybody who's stood up against Mr. Bishop, and he knows everything. There's nothing I need to say to him. He knows what he's done, and unfortunately, he's gotten away with too much. So I've always wanted to heal my generational curses in my family, me not having my father around as much as I wanted to. And I wanted to help change that in the world. We ended up perpetuating generational curses, creating more situations for the children to have to recover from due to our current situations now. But I know there's a lot of power in the tongue, and I believe in the best for everybody. I believe that everybody is going to find their way, find their light, however that looks. And I'm proud of you all. You are all very strong. Ugly Mr. Bishop, your light is in the dark. And you already know your chart. Do your work, bro. Nobody's exempt. I'm not exempt, you're not exempt, nobody here is. Love wins, and you had me thinking that love was an L, like a loss. Love was something to do away with. It was a weakness. And it wasn't, bro. It wasn't. It's the only thing that's kept me here standing strong to this day. So regardless of how people view me to this day from what we've done, I'm on the road to my own soul redemption, and I'm willing to do the work that it takes for me to become the best version of myself, so that one day I can be the man for my children that I know I'm supposed to be, not the man that you were, and not trying to become a man like you. I want to be a man like me. And, thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you. That, and is all of the witnesses and evidence that the state has?
All right, and did your client want to be heard?
No, I did just-
All right. All right, Mr. Bishop,
Looks
do
like
you,
it does.
okay, Mr. Bishop, do you want to be heard? Come on up to the, if you do, come on up to the podium. And we'll swear you in.
Raise your right hand.
Do you swear or attest to the testimony about to give the truth?
For sure. At all times.
All right, what is it you'd like me to consider?
I just want to say something to all of them. I
Well,
just want to
just,
say,
no,
I-
just direct it to me, please, not to.
I'll direct it to you. I'll direct it to you.
Okay.
Are you happy? Are you happy?
I'm not answering any questions of yours, Mr.
I forgive you. I forgive you, and I still love you. I forgive you, and I still love you. I got nothing in my heart. I'm not mad at you. I'm not upset with you. I forgive you. I want you to know I still love you and forgive you. And kiss my baby girl and let her know I love her. And I love y'all. I would never, I don't have no, I promise you, you know how I am. In my heart, you know how I am. I still love you. I still fuck with you. I still love you.
All right,
I still,
I got
and
that.
no hate,
Okay,
no hate.
is there anything
My
else?
heart, like, I promise you, I love you when I'm still here. I ain't miss one lick. I see what y'all doing, and I want you to know, I give you. And I see y'all in the end.
All right, thank you.
I love you. I love you.
All right, I just muted the courtroom. We're done with that. All right, what is the recommendation from the state?
Just a brief argument,
yeah,
if I
sure.
may. I think all of this arises out of obviously an environment where women and the four women that have been before the court, as well as others who have not, were stripped by this defendant of their autonomy, stripped of their strength, and I think this week, last week, those young women took that back in pretty epic fashion. You watched the defendant in the last 25, 30 minutes. His antics, the gesturing, the laughing in court as these young women are telling their story to Your Honor again. He does not believe he did anything wrong. And he will, for the rest of his life, be a danger to this community and a danger to any women he encounters in this community. Because we're asking for, the state is asking for a sentence on the rape charge of life without the possibility of parole. The other counts to run concurrent.
What are the maximum sentences on the other counts, though?
False imprisonment carries a maximum sentence of 10 years.
Okay.
Count 3, the state's position is that it is a misdemeanor.
The
The
posting of
first revenge porn.
First one is, okay.
Counts 4 and 5, excuse me, the second and third revenge porn counts. State's position is that each of those maximum sentence is 5 years in custody.
All right. Any other additional argument? Okay. Mr. Booker?
Thank you.
Sure.
It's an unusual position I find myself. I'm in the courtroom, my client's not. The witnesses that he would have had here, they were not here because they were banned from the courthouse.
So the only, just let me make the record clear, the only folks that I instructed the sheriff's department to ban were the folks that acted out on the stand and or acted out in the gallery. Those were my instructions.
Yeah,
So
sure.
there have been threats, there have been all sorts of things being made to court staff, to court employees, to everybody throughout this process. So
Yes, ma'am.
in the interest of maintaining decorum and as much security as we can, that was my decision. And also, before you go forward, I forgot to put one thing on the record.
Okay.
I asked Mr. Bishop earlier if he would return to the courtroom this afternoon, and he initially said yes. And I said, all right, we'll make arrangements for you to do that while the jury, or after the jury rewatched and re-listened to the evidence they requested to see.
That's okay.
And then he wanted to talk to you, and I understand you called him and you came back in and you told me that he changed his mind and did not want to come back.
That is correct, Judge.
Okay.
I did to him, and the jury went back out and continued the parade, and he maintained his
Okay,
stay.
that's fine. I just, because it was on the record that he wanted to come and he's still in the jail courtroom, so that's why I wanted to clear that up. All right.
Yes, Your
Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No worries. Portia Wayne and Caleb Butler, they were the only two witnesses. I don't know what happened with them, but they're not in the court. But to Ms. Marquez, to Kendra, to Brianna, and to Janae, as a defense attorney, you know, my job and my obligation is to zealously defend my client. I've watched a lot of hurt between all four of them. There's only one true God, and it's not Eligio Bishop, and he knows that. And I'm sorry with everything these folks have had to go through in this case. I do think Mr. Bishop, though Judge, is redeemable. I do not think a life without parole sentence is appropriate. I think life obviously is 30 years, is what it currently is before he be eligible for parole. I would ask the court to give him the opportunity to get parole in the future and let the parole board determine whether or not he is redeemable. Obviously, this has been a very challenging trial. It's been a lot of emotion on all ends. I've seen people in very difficult positions that I had to cross-examine. But in a nutshell, Judge, I'm asking the court to sentence him to a life with the possibility of parole sentence, or if you're not willing to do just life, maybe do a life with consecutive time, but not do it without parole. Let the parole board determine in 30 years whether or not he is redeemable or not. I will state that he has no prior felony convictions that I'm aware of. He's never been convicted of anything. He did own a barbershop here in Atlanta, as he has stated before he left on his journey. Mr. Bishop, his parents, as I understand, both of them he didn't have parents when he was raised in New York. And at a very young age, I think both of his parents either or were killed. And so he doesn't have much in the way of family or in the way of history. There's been a lot of things that have happened to him, in my opinion, that put him in the position that he's in right now. But I would ask the court for whatever discretion the court is willing to give for purposes of his sentence. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. You know, I would have been inclined to exercise some discretion had Mr. Bishop shown any remorse, guilt, or regret throughout this process. And I saw nothing during the trial but for him laughing and cutting up and looking shocked and surprised at all of the testimony. Mr. Bishop, you're a master manipulator and probably the classic definition of a narcissist, like that I've ever seen. You took advantage of these folks who were essentially lost souls, looking for some guidance, looking for some connection, or looking for some comfort. And you were able to fill a void for them for some reason. But in the process, you completely took advantage of them and have caused potentially, I hope not, but potentially irreparable harm. I hope that all of the victims will be able at some point in time to recover from this and to find some type of peace in their lives. And maybe the verdict will help in that regard. But I hope you all are able to move on at some point and find some peace, whatever that is for you. So with that, I am going to follow the recommendation of the state in this case. On the rape, he'll be sentenced to life without the possibility of parole, followed by 10 years consecutive for the false imprisonment. And on the internet porn, count 3, 12 months to serve, concurrent to the false imprisonment. The internet porn all run concurrent to the false imprisonment. Internet 5 years, so it's 12 months on count 3, 5 years on count 4, and 5 years on count 5. All of that will run concurrent to the false imprisonment, but the false imprisonment is consecutive, so it's life without parole plus 10 years. And hopefully he will never be able to take advantage of anybody else again.
Judge, can you be sure to go over his post-conviction rights with him as well as?
Yes.
Just gonna put those on the, Judge, before, I know there were certain conditions, obviously with the way the law currently exists and the court's sentence, the defendant will not be out. Just in case the law changes in the future, we would ask that the conditions of no contact
Oh, of
with
course,
victims, and that the defendant may not profit financially in any way off of the facts that led to this case.
All right, Mr. Bishop, you're to have absolutely no contact, direct or indirect. Be sending any of your followers to contact them, getting messages to them, no posting, no internet posting about them, no contact, direct or indirect, no phone calls, emails, no nothing, no visits to their homes, nothing, 0. They don't exist anymore. And you are not to profit in fashion from the crimes that you have committed. So no book deals for you, no movie rights, nothing. And also with respect to your appellate rights, let's see, you have 30 days, I believe, from today to file a motion for a new trial.
That's correct, Judge, and I'll get him a boilerplate motion for the trial file once the sentence is.
Okay.
He has 30 days from the date of his sentencing, which is today, to file a notice of appeal or a motion for new trial to preserve his direct appeal rights. He also has 4 years from the time that his conviction becomes final to apply for a petition for a writ of habeas corpus. Generally, a petition or a conviction is final when all direct appeal rights have expired.
Okay.
And he has 1 year on misdemeanor.
Right. That's right. The one counts as misdemeanor. All right. Anything else?
Judge, on his old indictment, 22 CR 2234, the state has pushed through a null pros order, so that is cleaned up, and that was sent earlier this afternoon.
Okay.
I also sent Ms. Jones with your office a copy of Ms. Defense Counsel, but a motion and order to seal the identity of the jurors, given the publicity and security threats involved in this case. I just asked that the court consider and grant that motion. There is an order that is also included with that.
Okay. What information, and can you guys approach about that? I don't want to put this Monday. All right, anything else with this?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, then we are in recess until Monday morning. Okay, thank you all, and is the sentence in my queue already, or? Oh, yeah, let's do that. Put it up on the screen so that council can check it and make sure everything is accurate. And then we're gonna have to get him to, can he sign it at the jail? They have that ability?
Legally, there's no like. legal-
There's no requirement that he sign it, okay. All right, and then, the folks on Zoom are free to go.
The first page is correct.
First page is correct.
Agreed. Wait, actually, there's only 4 counts listed on the.
Yeah, goes on to the next page.
Oh, good point. He would be entitled to credit.
Oh, credit for time served, oh my gosh, yes, credit for time served from the date of his arrest, which was
I believe it was April 12th of 2022.
4/12/22.
That's what the testimony was, but I swear it was.
Let's double check in Odyssey.
Well, isn't it just determined by the custodian anyway?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Credit for time served from the date of his arrest. He hasn't been out on bond, so whatever that was. April 14th.